Series 8 has always been a weaker series for me, but since doing my rewatch, I've enjoyed it so much more. Today I'll be looking back at Season 8's version of School Reunion, The Caretaker, and I'm going to talk about my pros and cons and just my general thoughts on the episode. For people who have not seen the episode in a while, here's a quick rundown. So the Doctor goes undercover as the caretaker at Clara's place of work, Coal Hill School, to stop an alien robot with the abilities to destroy the world, who just so happens to be there at this time. Now you know the general premise of the episode, let's get into the positives. So my first positive here is the comedy, because this episode is just really funny. Capaldi's Doctor in this just plays really well off of all the characters, and his really strange behaviour just fits the setting he's in. When the episode isn't focused on the Doctor's hatred for soldiers, it is very good at making you laugh. It is just a funny episode as a whole. That's already the end of the positives for this one, so let's go straight into the negatives. Now I also only have one negative for this episode, which is the monster. I just think the episode had way too much focus on the monster for the episode that we had. The episode is basically just there to show the Doctor's hatred for soldiers and how that's affecting Clara and Danny's relationship, making the monster just feel really out of place when they're putting the focus on it. The monster as well had such a high power level for the story presented, and it honestly felt very forced just to have some tension and stakes in the episode. What we actually saw of the monster as well really didn't back up this claim of power that it had, making them feel completely useless to the story. The main example of this is when you see Danny's curiosity stop the Doctor's plan in sending it like billions of years into the future. They say in the episode they come back a few days later, but even them just capturing and actually sending this thing in the first place was way too easy for how strong they were making the creature seem. Them just having this part of the story as well, where they delayed that monster coming back, was only really used to buy the characters more time in this school setting. Like, we get some nice character moments because of it, but if the monster wasn't there, it would feel weird. So they're kind of just using it to advance the characters. I just think it was a very poor attempt at using a villain in this sort of episode. Now, before I reveal the rating for this episode, please go and hit that like button so I know that you're enjoying the video. And if you would like to see more review and or Doctor Who content, then go down below and hit that subscribe button, just so you do not miss out on any new content. With that said, let's get straight into the rating. Now, like always, combining the positive and negative elements of this video, we get an enjoyability score of a 50%, which for everyone else is a 5 out of 10, meaning this gets my Bronze Highway Award. I really wouldn't recommend this to anyone who has not saw the show before. It's got some really good humor, but a very flat story. It's definitely not a terrible episode, but there's not really anything special about it. Now, I have got some constructive criticism for this episode, that being the story. You might have noticed I did say the story was flat, so you're probably wondering why it's not in the negatives area of this video. Well, generally for me, in an episodic show like this, having episodes where there's not that many stakes and it's more character driven can actually work. For the most part, I can enjoy this as just a character development episode, and that's why I don't really mind the story being really rough, especially when I'm doing a whole season rewatch. Due to the show's episodic nature, I think there needs to be some sort of story in the episodes, as this episode really isn't too watchable on its own unless you have seen the episode before or this series. To me, it just doesn't work as a standalone story, making it good for the fans, but for casuals or people trying to get into the show, probably not a good one to start with. This video is shorter than my other ones, but I hope you have enjoyed it nonetheless and found the review useful. Please comment down below your rating for this episode. Would love to see how you rate this episode, as Doctor Who tends to have a wide range of opinion. Since you made it this far, you almost definitely like Doctor Who, or even love it. If so, you may want to click right here to see my review of the episode Listen. Unfortunately, that is all I have for today, but thank you for watching.